This is the Edgefield Broadcast Network, bringing you the important news of the day.
Trump asks Supreme Court to extend delay in election case, claiming presidential immunity. Former President Trump is asking the Supreme Court to extend the delay in the trial, stemming from special counsel Jack Smith's 2020 election interference case, arguing that he has presidential immunity to protect him from prosecution. Trump attorneys on Monday afternoon filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court, just days after a D.C. appeals court ruled the former president and 2024 GOP frontrunner is not immune from prosecution. In Smith's case, the request is for temporary relief to stay or block the appeals court mandate from taking effect, which would give the Trump legal team more time to file an appeal to the Supreme Court on the merits of whether a former president deserves immunity from criminal prosecution for actions while in office. The trial stemming from Smith's case against Trump is on hold pending resolution of the immunity question. The Justice Department may ask for expedited consideration of this initial emergency appeal. If the prosecution of a president is upheld, such prosecutions will recur and become increasingly common, ushering in destructive cycles of recrimination. The request states, criminal prosecution, with its greater stigma and more severe penalties, imposes a far greater personal vulnerability on the president than any civil penalty. The request adds, the threat of future criminal prosecution by a politically opposed administration will overshadow every future president's official acts, especially the most politically controversial decisions. The request states that the president's political opponents will seek to influence and control his or her decisions via effective extortion or blackmail with the threat, explicit or implicit, of indictment by a future hostile administration for acts that do not warrant any such prosecution. This threat will hang like a millstone round every future president's neck, distorting presidential decision-making, undermining the president's independence, and clouding the president's ability to deal fearlessly and impartially with the duties of his office. Trump's lawyers added, without immunity from criminal prosecution, the presidency as we know it will cease to exist. As President Trump's powerhouse Supreme Court filing explains, if immunity is not granted to a president, every future president who leaves office will face the prospect of being wrongfully indicted by the opposing party, the spokesperson told Fox News Digital. Without complete immunity, the President of the United States will not be able to function properly. Even while the president is still in office, his political opponents will use the threat of future prosecution as a weapon, effectively blackmailing and extorting him to influence his most sensitive and important decisions. The spokesperson added, the Supreme Court should grant the requested stay and put an end to deranged Jack Smith's repeated attempts to corruptly short-circuit the ordinary and correct functioning of our justice system. The filing comes after Washington, D.C. Federal Judge Tanya Chutkan earlier this month officially delayed the trial, which was set to begin on March 4th, a day before the critical Super Tuesday primary contests, when Alabama, Alaska, American Samoa, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia and Vermont vote to select a GOP nominee.